Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team. And today I got the absolute pleasure of being on the show with Linda. And Linda Fuzzi is part of the Dekker Team, right?
Yes.
So, and today we're going to talk about stats. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the market. And then we're going to talk a little bit about you. And then we're going to talk about some of the great properties we have for sale, a couple of great properties. So you ready for a fantastic show?
Sounds good. I'm up for it.
Awesome. Okay.
So can we start with condos, actually?
Yes.
The inventory.
Yeah. You sell some condos? You work with
Definitely.
buyers.
Oh,
yes.
for sure.
I think you sold one a couple of weeks ago
I did.
to a buyer. So condos, we'll start with condos because
Okay.
condos is kind of the lesser impressive side of the market, what's going on. Inventory-wise, in 2015, for September now, we're talking all September.
Right.
And we're going to talk different years, but it's always going to be September that we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so September, there were 2,225 condos for sale on the MLS system, the Ottawa Real Estate Board. That compares to 2014, we had 2,000. So that's an increase of 11.3% increase. And now let's look at 2011, because that's as far back as my chart goes. There were 1,075 for sale. That's a 107% increase. That's over double the number of condos for sale this September as there were in September 2011.
And what's the reason for that?
I think the builders are building too many of them is one of the reasons. Fewer sales are happening as well. So what happens is when the sales start decreasing and the same number are going on the market, you start to accumulate inventory. So you got more and more condos for sale. So the good news is that usually means if there's a lot of inventory, there might be some good values out there. And I think a lot of the builders and a lot of the real estate companies were marketing the new condo builds as investments. And the problem with investments is you have to rent them or you have to resell them. And if there isn't the market to resell them, then they try to rent them. And so what's happening is we're actually and it's not just the condos, it's in the resale, in the freehold as well. The inventory, the builders have been building, and the population hasn't been growing, and our incomes haven't been growing to the state where we can be buying all these properties. So what happens is somebody goes into a new one, they leave an old one vacant. And so you get more and more inventory. And then what happens also is the rental market, the price that you pay for a rental actually goes down a little bit because there's more and more rental inventory on the market. There's more vacancy. Okay, and Ottawa hasn't seen this kind of issue since about 1994, 95, 96. So it's...
How long did it last at that time? And do you think it's going to repeat?
That's a good question. It lasted 3 years where values went down. They didn't go down a lot. They went down like 1-2%. And then it really accelerated. About 2 years later, it took off. Now, a lot of that was a double whammy. It was the dot-com burst and the government laid off people. Now, what our government's been doing right now is they've been holding back on the budget because the world economy is not super strong. And so they've been holding back on hiring, doing a lot of reduction in government workers through attrition when they retire or that type of thing, and just not rehiring, becoming more efficient with their processes. Just like industry now can run a manufacturing plant with less people because of automation. Same thing's happening in the government. A lot of things are becoming more automated and they don't have to spend quite as much on that. Even Canada Post, which is Crown Corporation, they used to move a lot more mail than they do now with all the online billing, online payments, all of that stuff. Even the government's going to, they don't want to send out checks anymore. They only want to pay it to you online because they're going to save the cost of the check, the cost of the processing, the cost of the stamp, all of that gets saved. So what's causing it right now? I think it's just the world economy.
Right.
People's wages have not been increasing. So houses couldn't keep increasing in value because if they did, their affordability would actually drop to the point where very few people could afford a home and everybody would be in rentals.
Now, on behalf of those who are still interested in investing at this point in time, those who would have considered investing in a condo, what are you suggesting they do at this point?
Well, a lot of the people that invested in condos, it was speculative. In other words, we buy it now, it's going to be built in 2 to 3 years, and I think it's going to be worth a lot more in 3 years, and then I'm going to resell it. That's speculative, and that didn't work out for most people. Whereas if you're buying a property that's existing and you're going to rent that, well, we know it's existing. We know what we're going to pay for it today. We know what the interest rate is. We can lock it in. We know what the condo fee is, or we know that it has no condo fee if it's a freehold. And we know what we can rent it for. So if the numbers work, then it's a great investment. And if they don't work, well, then don't buy it. It's that simple. And rentals, although they've come down, it's maybe $50 a month. And so with interest rates as low as they are, most properties still work out right if you're buying the right type of property for the type of tenant that you're looking for. So let's talk about sales. The condo sale price. No, sales first. Let's go sales first. Okay. You got to keep me on track.
All right. Sales, Ken.
204 sales compared to 220 last year. That's a drop of 7.8%. Doesn't sound, well, almost 10%. That's fairly significant. You go back to 2011, there were 286 sales. So it's interesting. You had 1,075 houses for sale, and almost, well, pretty much a quarter of them, 286 sold. Now we have 2,225 for sale, only 205 sold. That's less than 10%. So big swing in the market as far as the rate at which the inventory turns over, and that's why the inventory keeps growing. And until our sales go up or fewer properties go on the market, our inventory is going to stay high. So what that do to average sale price?
How?
Obviously, it's gone pretty much this flat, you know. Like last year, 261,000 was the average sale price in September. This year, 259,898. So virtually the same. Now, if we look back to 2011, so 5 years ago in September, it was actually 251,962. So that's an increase of only 1.7% from 2011 to 2015. So pretty flat, right? So very similar to what happened back in 1994. But right now it's happening in the condominium market. And it's not so much happening because of the job market in Ottawa. It's more generally the world economy, what's happening there, and having too much inventory. That's what's flattened the price out.
So the average days on market for condos?
About 67 days of the ones that sell.
Right.
Now remember, 90% of them didn't sell in September. So there are condos that will go on for a long period and may never sell. They may choose to take them off the market, stay there, or they may choose to rent them or that type of thing. So of the ones that sell, which means they're going to be the best properties, the best price, best properties, 67 days, so 2 months.
The ones that are selling, are they in the downtown core or are they the outskirts?
This market is all over.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is a lot of the condo market is really two parts. You've got the townhouse style, and then you've got the garden home, townhome style condo. And they're two different markets, they really are. So the downtown market is still going. I didn't really break it down. Maybe for another show that would be a good thing to do. I'll break it down between the types of condominiums and what's happening. And and of course, most of the condo builds have been in the downtown area, the infills of a condo. So right now we got 11 months inventory.
Wow, buyer's market.
Yes, extreme buyer's market,
yes,
actually.
extreme.
Yeah, and last year we had 9 months inventory at this time. It's still a buyer's market. And 2011, we only had 3.7 months of inventory. So that's kind of balanced, but close to a strong seller's market in 2011. And that's when a lot of the big builders were coming in from Toronto and started doing the planning and building towers, because you get a good year, maybe 2 years in planning, another 2 years to build it. So they're making decisions on how many condos they're going to build 4 years, 5 years ago when the market was really strong. And so you got quite a number of builders, developers that wanted to build condos. The next thing that's coming up, and I'll give this little sneak peek, is there's a little niche market, and it's called student residences, like student housing is very, very not underfunded, but there's not enough beds for the number of students. And so what happens is they end up renting houses or people rent rooms out of old properties and that sort of thing. So there's this niche market where developers are building condo buildings, selling it to investors, but renting to students. So they're building them right near the universities or the colleges, and there's going to be a couple of those coming up that we're going to have opportunity for both investors who want to invest some mortgage money. So they've got extra cash or RSP money or TFSA money that's maybe sitting in mutual funds or in cash because they're afraid of what's happening with the stock market. And so we're able to refer those people to give that money in, and they'll earn 8% per year for 3 years, and then a 12% bonus at the end. So it works out to around 11% per year.
Are you allowed to reveal where exactly it's going to be? Is it going to alleviate some of the pressure?
No, I can't.
Sandy Hill area? No, you can't. Okay, all right.
I can't let you know where it is.
Okay.
Truthfully, I don't know where it is. We're just in the talks right now with the developer and the mortgage company. So if people are interested in investing some of their TFSA or RSP money or cash money and get a fairly good return, then I'm happy to refer them. They just got to call us at the Dekker Team, 613-860-4663, and we'll introduce them. We'll make the connection.
Oh, great. And how about your investor workshop?
That's a great place to come out to as well, yes. So the second Thursday of what's our next month? November.
It would be.
I had to go through my calendar there. I'm better with numbers than words. So it's the 11th month. We have a workshop coming up on the second Thursday, and that would be a great thing for you to register. You can call at 613-860-4663. And we're going to talk about all kinds of great things on how to make your money work for you, how to get out of debt a little bit. We're going to talk about real estate investments. We're going to compare them to the stock market, show some charts, which I love charts, and that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in spending 2 to 3 hours, I usually keep it at 2.5 from 6 to 8:30. If you're interested in spending that and really getting some great information and being able to make some wise decisions for your future, that's a great place to come out and register for that.
Great.
All right.
Can we hop over to freeholds now?
We can,
but
right
awesome.
now I've got to pause for the cause.
Oh, okay.
If you've just joined us, you are listening to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Dekker Team, and we're glad you're here. And so we've just finished up with condos, and now we're going to talk about the market, what's happening in the freehold, is what you asked, right?
Inventory.
Inventory, yeah. We always start with inventory. 2015, 6,175 homes were for sale in September. That's an increase of 3% over 2014, which had 6,000 homes for sale. So if you combine the condo and the freehold, there's over 8,000 homes for sale, and that's the most inventory I've ever seen in Ottawa for sale at one time in my 21 years of real estate.
Wow.
Yeah, so awesome choices out there. You're working with
Lucky
a lot of buyers.
I definitely am, yeah.
And they've
Lucky
got great
buyers,
selection,
yes.
right? And prices are holding steady, which is great. 2011, there were 4,500 homes for sale. So that's a 37% increase from 2011 to 2015. That's a big difference than the 107 in the condos. And that's why the freehold is kind of humming along. It's doing pretty good. So inventory was only up 3% compared to the 11% in the condos. Now sales affect your inventory. 1,054 sales in freehold. So that's about a 20% of the inventory sold in 1 month. Compared to 2014, 1,055. So virtually the same within one house. Wow! If I just sold one more house, we would have leveled the September over September. And then we go back to 2011. Remember, I said 2011 is a pretty great month or great year, right?
Right.
There were 1,089 houses sold in September of 2011 compared to 1,054. So you can see that's 35 houses spread over 12 months. What is that? That's just shy of 3 houses per month. That's not a lot. That really isn't affecting the market. So the sales there are not affecting the market. The number of houses is affecting it a little bit because there's 37% increase over that 5-year period. So now let's look at sales. Average sale price in September. Now again, it's a small chunk, so we have to be careful. If the average in a month goes up or down, doesn't necessarily mean that a particular house is worth more or less. It's just saying average what's going on in the market. So it was 368,900 was the average sale price in September, and that's a 3.5% increase over last year, which was 356. So 3.5% increase. That's not bad. That's very stable. And then if we compare to 2011, 342,000 compared to the 368. That's a 17.7% increase from 2011 to 2015. Now, that's not a ton. That's not a ton. But it's stable. It's not going down. It's increasing. It's more than what a lot of people can say about a lot of their investments.
What about the days on market?
Right around the same as condos, 61 days for those that sold. But again, remember, only 20% of the market sold. And what you'll find is that pretty much every month, the same number that sell come back on the market. Like not the same houses, but the same quantity, or sometimes more. Depends on when in the season. If it's in the spring season, there might be twice as many coming on as sell. And in the fall season, typically what happens is the number that come on is less than the number that sell, especially if you consider the ones that come off the market, because the inventory starts to decrease as we move towards Christmas. Christmas. That's a scary thought. All right. So the interesting thing here is we went from we're at 6 months inventory, which some people would consider a balanced market. It's at the top of the balance. I believe 4 to 6 months is kind of balanced. I think we're still in a seller's market at 6 months inventory. Last year it was 5.7 months inventory, so pretty much the same. And if we go back to 2011, we had 4 months of inventory. That's actually more than we had in condos. Condos was 3.7. Do you see why all the builders came and built condos? Because there was a demand for it. But what they couldn't forecast was that our population wouldn't grow and our income levels wouldn't grow to support that number of new properties. Okay? So basically that's what's happening. The overall nutshell. In a nutshell.
Well, wonderful. Thanks very much, Ken. Just wondering about properties, too. Do you have a couple of properties you'd like to share?
I do, but before we do that, we're going to talk about you, Linda.
Oh, no. I'm trying to divert.
Oh, yes, I know you are.
Properties.
I know you are, because for you, it's not all about you, right? It's all about your clients.
Wonderful clients, yes.
Yes, and that's why we wanted you on the Dekker team, because you care for our clients the same level, maybe even more. Is that nasty to say? Like I'm a numbers stats guy, I'm transactional, but you're people-based, highly people-based, and you care so much for people. As a matter of fact, recently, you helped one of our clients move into Smith Falls, actually, and we won't give any names, just to protect the innocent. And this person was a single mom and had some struggles. And you went the extra mile to make sure she got a good house.
We did, and it was just grace of God, honestly, how everything fell into place for her and for her two boys, and two boys who are living with her and one who is living independently. It all fell into place. So we were there to support through the whole process, and you were awesome as well. You threw a little muscle in there, and my husband and my two children came out and helped.
Yeah,
Teresa
no, we don't do this for every family. You got it. But we actually went and helped unload.
Yeah, we shouldn't advertise that.
No, we shouldn't. But if you're in a terrible distress, we'd come out and help you too.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what we did. That's what you did. You brought your whole family.
They were
and helped.
Awesome.
And they helped carry things out of the trailer and put things into the house.
In the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain. And they helped watch the children.
Yeah.
So this person could be more focused on where things needed to go and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that was really going above and beyond. And you know what they say? There's no traffic jams in the extra mile. And you went on the extra mile. So good for you.
Oh.
And so if you're thinking of buying a property, you need to call us. Because Linda here is going to look after you. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick up the phone and call 613-860-4663 and ask for Linda. And Linda will help you buy your next property because she's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Now we're going to talk a couple properties.
Great.
Okay. So I mentioned that Christmas is coming, right? Which was kind of sad because really it's... Well, how many shopping days do you think it is away?
Oh, I don't know.
It's only like probably 10 weeks away or something silly like that. But anyways,
You're the numbers
I'm usually
guy.
good with numbers, but that's a calendar.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. So I thought I'd talk about a house on Reindeer Way.
Oh, there you go.
This is a great property. It's fairly new. It's got 5 bedrooms. So if you've got a big family or maybe a blended family, maybe you're the Waltons or what was the Brady Bunch. Yeah, I'm giving away my age. Maybe you got the Brady Bunch and you've joined a couple families. This is a 5-bedroom home, all on the one level.
Oh, awesome.
Okay,
Wonderful.
so we're not talking a little house. We're talking a big house. 5 bedrooms, has a 3-car garage, but it's double deep. You can fit 7 vehicles in this
Wow.
in this car garage. So if you've got adult children or children that are going to university or that kind of thing, what a great place for them. It's all wired up for what do you call that? Connect 4, I think it's called, so that you can have one box and you can watch TV in all different rooms, different selections. You can pick different channels, and it's really all connected. Beautiful hardwood, and the detail work in the ceilings, in the trim work, the coffering, and all that kind of stuff is amazing. It's a great big open kitchen with an island, and then open to the family room and a big eating space. So seriously, it's designed. We got to find a family.
We do.
If you're a family out there that needs a great home
in time for Christmas,
this is for you. And if you're tired of sitting on a small lot and not having room for kids to play or kick a ball or whatever, this is it as well. We're in a half-acre lot. Not a half-acre lot, almost 2 acres, I think.
Wow. In
the Greeley area. Great house. Give us a call on that one. And then the other property is in Manotick, in the Estates. So if you're ready to have that kind of trophy home, this one also has very large principal rooms. It's a 4-bedroom, and the rooms are really, really large. And what that does is it allows for entertaining. Gorgeous corner lot on like I say, a little over a half acre, in a very prestigious area. And now's the time to buy this home because we've just brought the price down to $725.
Wow.
It was at $750, which I felt was priced well to start with. Market's telling us maybe not. Buyer's market, especially in the upper end.
Yeah.
So here's your chance to get in at 7.25 into the Manotick market, which won't stay the way it is forever. Manotick goes through cycles. I've seen many of them. I've worked out of Manotick for 20 years. And I've seen it go through cycles where the high-end prices, take a bit of a beating in a market like this, and then they recover quickly when the market picks up again. So 7.25, phenomenal home, 2-car garage, lots of room for cars in the laneway. You can park 4 or 6 cars in the laneway, and just a great property. So let's talk about that. We have a buyer workshop coming up as well. That would be the 3rd Thursday of November. And you might want to call Linda and ask her if you could come to this buyer workshop. Because if you've ever thought of buying a home, you just got that little inkling, or you're wondering, can I afford to buy a home? Rents, I'm paying $1,500, $1,600 a month for rent. Really, should I be? Because if half of your mortgage payment's going to pay down the principal, right? So if your mortgage on a $300,000 house, on a let's say you put 20% down. No, let's say you put less down. Let's say you put 5% down on a $300,000 townhouse, for instance. Okay, what is that? 5% of 300? It's $15,000. So you need $15,000, maybe another $5,000 for closing. So you need $20,000. Your mortgage payment's going to be in the neighborhood of about $1,400 a month, and almost half of it is principal pay down. So instead of paying $1,500, $1,600 a month for a rental, you're putting $1,400 into your mortgage. $700 of that's going back into your bank account, basically. The bank account of the value in your house, the equity in your house. It's like a forced savings plan. You're getting like $700 a month, forced savings. It's not costing you any more to live. I think it's a great deal. And so you want to call Linda, 613-860-4663. You have anything to say about that, Linda?
I would love to see you out there, and we can definitely help you find a wonderful home that's suitable for yourself and your family.
Absolutely. So if you've got any questions for the inside track on real estate, and you want to, burning questions you want to ask the Dekker team, you can give us a call at 613-860-4663, or you can email us at dekkerteam@chri.ca. If you'd like to watch archived shows, you can watch those at dekkerteam.com. That's DEKKERTEAM.com. We're glad you joined us on the Inside Track on Real Estate. Have a great day.